We're back today.
You're
It's gonna be a figure podcast, but I gotta say something. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you're a big wrestling fan and you're also a really big sports fan or even bigger sports fan, specifically baseball or hockey or basketball, and you are forcing yourself to watch Raw or SmackDown right now when baseball is starting up and basketball's about to start up, hockey's about to start up.
I want to say that if you're watching Raw or baseball, it's the same thing. But
No,
basketball,
no, 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 no.
hockey,
If you're a big baseball fan and you're watching Raw over a random Padres versus Diamondbacks game, okay, you got to rethink because you need to appreciate the baseball, the hockey, the basketball, any sports that's on. Appreciate it now because as we found out today, it's probably going to be taken away pretty soon. So appreciate it, and then in like a year when everything's back to normal, you can go back to complaining about how bad Raw is. You know what I mean, Justin? Like, don't
I
complain
don't watch
about.
Raw, dude. I've been watching Marvel movies this past month.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying in general. Like, I didn't see anyone like on my timeline like talk about it, but I just thought about it. I was like, you know what? There might be someone that's gonna watch Raw over a random like Mets versus Red Sox game. No, I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
watch Mets versus Red Sox because, well, the White Sox are on a rain delay, the Cubs are on a rain delay. But like, I mean, did you hear about the Marlins? I mean,
Yeah, their COVID outbreak.
yeah. So it's like anything can happen. We just got to appreciate what we have while we still have it. And in some
Blue
cases,
Jays
that's a
are
good
winning
thing.
3-0
Where are they at in Buffalo?
against the Nationals.
Are they in Buffalo? Or are they in Washington?
I think they're in Washington.
Okay, well, that was talking sports. Now Justin's going to cry about the story. Go ahead.
Oh, here we go, dude. Okay, so I go to the gym today, and I'm like, I remember because I used to live in that area, around that area, that I go to the gym. I do a 20-minute drive, and I was like, oh, there's a Toys R Us down there. So I go to Toys R Us, I look around, whatever. I look at Pops because I was just walking around because I had nothing to do. And then I realized, oh, right, there's this thing called Heroes. Let me get the right name in case anyone, for some reason, lives around where I live. Heroes Comics in Vaughan, Woodbridge. There's like right across the street from the Toys R Us. And like, okay, so me and Ravi went there for a Jericho book signing. That's what they claimed they were having. Chris Jericho is there. You could pay, I don't remember, it was like $50 or something or 60, and you get a picture with him. And if you have either you get an 8x10 sign that they have, or you bring a book, like Jericho's book that he just came out with,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll sign it for you. But no specialty items. You got to pay extra for that. And we're like, all right, we're just going to get the book. We're going to go get the book. We'll go there. Oh, also, he was doing a live podcast. So we go there. He does a live podcast. I thought it was okay. Ravi thought it was boring. Turns out years later, till now, Jericho's never uploaded this podcast in his Talk of Jericho podcast. So Ravi was indeed right. Jericho thought it was trash. So we go in, we go outside, and they're setting up for the signing. So we go in for the signing. I can't remember what I asked Jericho. I was like, "Oh, why didn't he never use that is this Saliva, like the King of My World theme song?" Like he said he didn't like it, so I was like, "Whatever, all right, cool." I gave him the book. Now the handler is like the guy that's running it at this comic book shop. He's like, "Oh no, he's only signing 8x10s. The book is a specialty item." Even though the day before I went in just to buy the tickets for me and Ravi because it was like a last minute thing. And I said, "Oh, so how does this work?" They're like, "Yeah, you bring in your book, he signs it, you get a picture, podcast." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I'm like in a dilemma. Jericho's looking at the guy, he's looking at me. I'm like, what do you mean? It's a book signing. It says it right there. It's literally on the sign. It says Jericho book signing. And then it says all the things. It's like, no. That's a specialty item. If you want the book signed, you got to pay an extra $30 or $40. I'm like, you only are allowed to get anything on any 8x10 on the table. And by the way, these 8x10s were trash. Like it literally had like, it was an 8x10, and at the bottom they had like a little border thing with like their Heroes comics, whatever. And the best 8x10 was like him versus Fandango or WrestleMania 29. So I got that sign. I got the picture with Jericho, and like literally, Ravi made a review on his channel, blasted them. They had messaged Ravi, oh hey, sorry about that, whatever, and Ravi's like, fuck you guys, I'm not taking that down. So yeah. So fast forward. So I'm like, oh, this comic book place across the street. I'm a part of a Canadian wrestling figures group, and they're saying, oh, we know they have like overpriced figures, but they're having like a 50% off sale, because they're open back up. They're trying to get business.
So it's normal price.
Yeah. So it's a super nice store. Like it's like,
Oh,
like
I'm currently I was on Google, and I guess someone at some point took a like Google Street View.
Yeah.
They have that going throughout the entire store, which, in my opinion, more places should do.
Anyway, it's a 5-star store, as in like
it looks
stuff.
amazing.
It's wall to wall. It's like amazing. They have a whole wrestling section that you could but they have so much stuff. They have cameras around everything, so it's like prevent theft, and everything's sealed up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, say like you're at like a convenience store and you see like the cigarettes behind.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that laid around like all figures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the figures. I'm like, oh, that's cool, Undertaker classic. Oh, look at that old school Undertaker Bone Cruncher. I'm like, all right, these are probably like 20, 30, $40, right? So I asked the lady. She's like, oh, how much is for that Undertaker Bone Cruncher? Which is the one I sent to your house.
Okay.
That I paid what, 30? I think I paid $30 shipped to your house.
Mm-hmm.
They said I was American, so like $40. She had the audacity. Is like, oh yeah, that Bone Cruncher is $110. I'm like,
Jesus,
what the fuck? And so, okay, I'm like, all right, that's like, I guess it's a glow-in-the-dark Undertaker. It's rare,
Mm-hmm.
Series 1. I'm like, all right. So I look at some other thing. How much is that Undertaker Classic? It's like, oh, $120. I'm like, what? The one with like, it had like an orange sticker. You know when you go to the store and you see an orange sticker, you're like, oh, that's like a sale price. And so you're like, oh no, all the classic are $120. I'm like, all the classics are $120. Like any of these classics, you go on eBay right now, $15, $20, $30, $40, $50. Like you're not.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing rare on the thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm looking around, like, then I'm like, actually, I'm like focusing on it and on those little tags, the prices. I'm seeing like 90, 80, 70. I'm like, none of this. It's like the prices are tripled, quadrupled. Like, there's nothing worth that money. Like, these are like old, like, all those 90s figures that actually go for less now on eBay than when people bought it for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have all these old. They have elites that like are over. Everything's overpriced. I'm like, then I see loose figures, and they had an Undertaker loose figure. They wanted $30 for this loose figure, and the cheapest figure loose was a $15 figure that was like beat up. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, fuck this place. I did a bad experience then. They're overpriced now. If they go out of business, God, I don't care. Like, I hate this place. They're terrible. -5 stars. Do not go there. Do not put money into this business. They do not deserve it.
Wow.
They're terrible. There's my
rant. You're burying them just like Ravi's burying them. They're burying them.
Like, it's terrible. Like, who's paying that much money, especially now? Like, you're not getting that. And now I understand why they have a whole wrestling collection. Like, it's filled. Like, it's a whole corner of the store. I'm like,
I'm looking at it.
Because like no one's paying that money. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I could go buy something on eBay and pay like custom fees, and it'll be cheaper than going to that store.
And here's the what's it called? Like there will be people. Like, I mean, I feel like we had this discussion either on podcast or on Skype with Breach about like the prices of cards, where it's like people will pay that much because they think that it's, like they don't know about eBay and they don't know about this, that, and the other. Like, so they'll pay that because it's like, oh, that's obviously rare. Like, I'll pay that price. But, and it's stores like these that are like making it worse for everybody else because, the common person doesn't know that you can get that figure for $20 online. Instead, they're going to pay $120, and then, so it's you got to call them out. Otherwise, they're gonna get away with it. And if they get away with it, then, like, I mean, this store looks pretty big, so I don't think that they're gonna, they're not gonna, like, anytime soon close. but
I
you
don't know,
know,
dude. There's no traffic in there,
well, that's
and
what I'm
there's a
saying. Like
lot of stuff in there.
there's obviously, you know what this might be, Justin. I'll be honest with you. This might be a guy who, because I just saw a picture of the outside of the place. Maybe it's gone. I don't know where it's at. They got like first off, I mean the outside of the place looks horrendous. By the way, like all those signs and like the I don't even know. It was like a big Pikachu and there's like the heroes and the WWE logo. So
Yeah, yeah.
this looks like it was a standalone place where they had the land and bought it a long time ago, and this is just the guy's collection, and he doesn't want to sell anything, so he prices it really high. You know what I mean? So that
It's
might be what it
it's
is.
it's literally terrible. Like it's like a great store. Like if you want to go look around and look at some fun stuff
Yeah,
and like go see some memorabilia and not pay like some fee to go in a store, like you know
yeah.
what I mean? You'll have fun in that store, but if you want to buy anything, no, like screw that.
Oh yeah, there's no way for that kind of prices. Like I'm sure there's like some things, like the
Oh,
small
there's probably
things that
some things
are.
that are cheap, but like every wrestling thing I saw on the board, and I'm like, everything's like astronomically overpriced. Not one thing was at even double its value.
I can't tell the prices, but they have some cards and like basketball cards and this little like detail
Oh yeah,
thing
those
on
are
the edge.
1,000% overpriced too.
Like those, I mean, like there's like a LeBron rookie I can see, and there's like a Michael Jordan like card. I bet those are like probably quadruple the price. So
Yeah. So
basically, if the people are listening to this because they're gonna search this up and someone's gonna send it to them, hey, you know what? Well, explain why your prices are so high, because then maybe people will understand, or they just won't shop there anymore. So,
so there's a place in nearby Ravi's place, about like half an hour away.
hmm
It's pretty much it's kind of like an hour. It's about 45, 50-minute drive for me.
hmm
And there's like a really nice comic store. Actually, like Ryder and Hawkins went to that store when they came here.
hmm
It's smaller, but like their price is not overpriced. Like they put it up a little bit, but it's like pretty good. Like an Elite would be like 29.99 here, and they charge about like 35. So it's like they're not overselling, you know.
yeah. No, I
So they
don't. I hate that. Like, especially
like if you're
like
charging $10 more, yeah, I get it because you're a different business and you're probably not getting it from like straight away.
it's wait. Do they have a freaking like animal like a monkey?
I don't know. They definitely have a Bumblebee car in there. I remember that. I don't know if it was gone or not. I kind of
No,
just
I
went to the
think they
wrestling
have like a
section
pet monkey in there
and I left. Oh, I don't know.
because there's a picture of it. Um, no, like I hate when like with cards and especially it's like people overprice it and it's like this card I can get online for like $5, but here it is $15. It's like what's the point? So
Like what happened? Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, but
So
hey,
yeah, there you go. There's a podcast. A little rant on wrestling figures.
I think they do have a monkey. Maybe not.
There you
Maybe
go.
they. All right. Well, that's it. Is that it? Are we done?
I don't know what else. That's it.
I got nothing to say.
We're
All
out of
right.
here.
There's the berry. All right. Talk to you in the next one.